I think what our listeners realize is that we're talking about some high stakes here. So, Martha, tell us a little bit more about what it is, what it is that you've got going on here. What do you do, and what does it all look like? Okay, give us a little summary.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot. There's a lot. So I feel like whenever people ask me this, the meme of what's his name, Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's got the cigarette hanging out of
Yeah.
his mouth and he's got the lines to every. I feel like that's me whenever I describe my business or how I run it. So it's got essentially two sides, and one side of it is where I serve, um, you know, uh, well, I guess there's three sides now at this point, but there's one side where I serve, very solopreneur sort of people, right? Newbies, really just get them going, and there's some memberships in that, and then there's another side of things where we in the things that I teach. So we have like an 8-figure online brand. So in the way that we've done uh, pretty much ourselves. If we've hired anybody, we've directed them as to what to do. So we've never hired somebody to be our angel to come and save us. It's always been like, hey, you've got hands, can you do this? Like and here's what I want you to do. And so we know how to be able to do all of the things. And so in me teaching how to be able to grow a brand, then I've also got, a part of my business that now does monthly events. And then I've got another part that is the implementation side, right? So the agency side, the here, let us do it for you the way that we do it for ourselves. And so that's what we got going on now.
Martha, will you tell us a little bit about a little more about the people you serve? Because I could be wrong here, but it's my thought that if you if you have a family and you have a full time job and you're tired of working at a corporation or whatever it may be, and you want to make money from home, Martha is the person you go see. That's the vibe I get. But I'd like you to add some more to that if I have any gaps, which I'm sure I do.
Yeah, we've gone back to, so that is and always will be part of my business, always. It's my reason I came to the dance in the first place. Whenever I started my own business, I worked at GoDaddy for a little over 5 years, and then one day got a video of my daughter taking her first steps. Um, Absolutely floored me, decimated me, and that's where I knew I needed to be. I was going to miss more of that. That was a microcosm of what life was about to be, and I had to make a choice of whether that was okay or not. I I know that for me, I have never felt like such a caged animal in my life as in that moment. And I know that I'm not the only one. And so that's why that will always remain part of my business. Um, and that's like I said, we've got sections or categories, but that will always remain part of my business because I do want to equip families to be able to create their own income from home so they can make their own choices, so they can do, mom and dad don't have to be away from their kids 40, 60, 80 hours a week. um, and we don't have a ton of time, so I'm not going to go into all of this, but I mean, when we look at the mental health epidemic that we're having right now and the rise of anxiety in children, like that's heartbreaking. And to see those numbers soar, um, shows me that the problem, in my opinion, and I wish I had data to back this, but we can't possibly. But the problem, in my opinion, is that mom and dad don't have enough time to be able to spend with their kids. So then their kids don't feel seen and heard and understood. And so then their kids go to other kids to be parented. And this is something that it's not the design, And so anyway, when mom and dad are home, instead of doing that, then they're able to be home and show their kids, here's a different way of doing life than what the whole world understands is possible for them, right? And so that's why that will always and forever be part of my business. Quite frankly, it's a little more ministry than it is business at this point. Um, and then uh, what I've come back to is whenever I left GoDaddy, the very first thing that I started was local business agency. And so it's still an arm of that family dynamic, because I know that local businesses are owned by local families, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm going back into the local business sector and I'm saying, okay, well, let's combine my expertise of online business and my understanding of local business, and let's snap them together and blow it up, because that's when you put the two together, that's where you can really have some dynamic results. But that's where we're heading.